Hey, welcome to Devlog 6. Let's jump in. So I made some changes to the cost indicator, which has now turned into the funds change indicator. Let me show you. So usually when we're hovering a shop item, we can see, for example, the cost of a wall, which says 100, and it tells us we are gonna have 900 currency left. So if I now were to build an advanced structure base and install some augmentations, hovering those is gonna show me how much gold I'm gonna get by selling them. It doesn't currently work when we're trying to sell structures, but that should be an easy fix. Okay, so I wrote a little function that's gonna calculate how much a structure is actually worth. So it's gonna go through and get the value of the base structure, and if it's an augmentable, it's gonna calculate how much each augmentation is worth, and it's gonna add it up to a total. So let's see if it works. Now if I place a wall, it's gonna say 50 because it's worth 100. If we see the structures, we can see a wall worth 100 and sell value is half, so 100 times 0.5 is 50. If I now place a basic structure base, which costs 180, it's gonna say 90. If I sell it, I'm gonna get exactly 90 back. If I install augmentations, it should show me how much the total worth is, because we're also going through every augmentation when we're displaying the number. Now I cannot sell it by pressing right click, I have to force sell it by holding shift as a safety measure, and it's gonna work. Yep, there we go. I added a swap mode to the augmentation menu. Previously, when you wanted to swap out a certain augmentation, you sometimes couldn't because you had augmentations depending on it. For example, if I try to sell the slingshot, it's not gonna let me because cripple depends on slingshot. Now I can just left click it and swap it out for an augmentation. I could say zap, and now I just swapped it out. Pretty cool stuff. The swap mode isn't perfect, however. If I wanted to swap out slingshot again, and I hovered the sprayer, for example, you might notice the top left corner is wrong. It's gonna tell me I'm gonna have 200 currency left, but that's not actually true. If we click it, we're gonna see we have 225. That happens because it doesn't factor in how much the augmentation we're swapping out is actually worth. So time to fix that. Okay, so now I factor in how much the swapped out augmentation is worth whenever we are displaying the cost, and let's see if it works. We have a radar and a slingshot, and if we now swap out the radar for an eye, it's gonna say we're gonna get 5 gold. Let's check if that adds up. Augmentation should say an eye costs 70 and a radar 150. 150 divided by 2 is 75, so we're gonna gain 5. All adds up. Let's see if it actually does. Yep, we gained 5. Works. Okay, so I just added a new map. It's a dark cave. It's got torches, rocks, and a lot of potential for maximizing the amount of time enemies are gonna take. So you could, for example, block it off here. Enemies would have to walk all the way here. Then you could block it off here. It's got a lot of cool strategy you could use. It's probably gonna change a bit. Might add some staircases, some elevation, which is gonna change a lot. When I watched a friend play Augmented, I noticed he was using his mouse to kind of scan where enemies could or couldn't walk, so I'm just gonna add a hotkey to show that information to the player. Okay, so a couple lines of code later, we should have a working system. If I now hold down Alt, I'm gonna see where enemies can walk and where I can place structures. So red means enemies can walk and I cannot place structures. White means I cannot place structures and enemies can't walk. Alright, that's gonna have to do it for today. In the next devlog I'm gonna work on some more content, mostly just enemies, waves, and kind of finish this cavern level. Thanks for watching.